What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Epic Entertainment Critics. I'm Antoine.
And I'm still James.
And we got an epic review for y'all today. We got the Kingsman. Kingsman. You know, I kept thinking it was the Kingsmen all this time. Then I was looking, the original was called the Kingsman.
Yeah.
But this got it's separated. It ain't one word. It's the Kingsman. Okay, so Merry Christmas, everybody. Went to see the Kingsman. We already did our Matrix, so it was like, why did you doing Matrix? Yeah, we already did Matrix. Check that out. That's on the channel. But we're going to do our review on this. But before we do that, we got an intro. All right, we have returned. Okay, all right, The Kingsman, starring Ralph Fiennes. Remember he was in the original Avengers?
Yeah.
Based on a British TV show.
I do remember.
About spies, I guess. I didn't never watch that movie. I remember when it came out, looked kind of fun or whatever.
Yeah. It's one of those, it doesn't stick around long.
Right. But, I mean, I guess the show was pretty popular or whatever. Yeah. But it is a British show, so whatever. But, Ralph Fiennes was a main protagonist in action at that time. So he's done this, you know. So
I mean, and they've already proven that they can make older white dudes look like badasses in this franchise. So.
Yeah, you know what? You got a point because what's his name? Galahad in the original.
I am blanking on the man's name. Is it Harry? No, that's his.
No,
name.
Harry was Harry Hart.
His name is Harry
in the movie. But his real name was Colin Firth.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
but because like back when that casting first came, I'm like, he's gonna be an action.
Right.
Star?
He was the best part of that movie.
Yes, bar none.
So, Kingsman is the origin of that movie, The Kingsman, that we seen with Colin Firth and what's Egg's real name? Taron Egerton. Right. So that was a modern where that organization. It's about a spy organization. Yeah. So this is the origin of how that spy organization got started. Was it good? Is it worth keep the series going, or was it? Yeah, y'all probably should stop right here.
Watch this video to find out.
Yeah. So we're going to show the trailer, and we're going to be back with our review, and then we'll let you know if it's worth keep going with that franchise.
Our guest of honor, Rasputin.
I'm looking for someone who can help me gain an audience with the Tsar. Perhaps you can be of assistance.
I only make decisions when my stomach is full or my balls are empty.
Well, thank God dinner is being served. Small things can grow into big problems. We are the first independent intelligence agency. While governments wait for orders, our people take action.
Welcome to the club.
You're going to need a suit.
Very clever. Time to dance.
This is the Red Band trailer. This pretty much ruined everything.
Fuck this gentleman shite!
I'm gonna love killing you.
Well, we shall see.
Right. That was Kingsman.
Yeah.
Good trailer.
Yeah. Showed you everything you wanted to see.
I know everything you need to see
Yeah.
was in that trailer. Okay, the Kingsman, man, like we said, it's the origin of the movie Kingsman. And this took place in like World War I.
Yeah.
Around like I guess 1914. And if you don't know your history, I know a little bit. And I know it was basically it was like a European war between Russia, Germany, and Britain. And and it actually changed history, I guess, a lot. But
Yeah.
it's basically saying like this war started, and it was giving it from their perspective of, and it was kind of cool. They didn't change history; they just changed the way it started.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
or the inside view
this
of it.
this is also one of the best facets of like historical fiction. Where it's like, no, everything that you read about happened.
Right,
We're just giving you a different reason why.
right. A different perspective of so they put us right there when
Yeah.
all the conflicts started or
Yeah.
whatever, and they made like they got like a secret. Well, so they wasn't this Secret Service yet, but they had a like a Spectre,
Yeah.
like evil group.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
I thought they were kind of lame. But no, because you know what it is. It's like you basically it's anytime you have a group of like bad people doing bad things.
Yeah,
And you never get the feeling that there's any good reason for them to all be involved in doing bad things. It just
well, the thing is, when you got your one villain, you recruit people
yeah.
to work for you, and you always got to have a meeting.
Well, yeah.
And usually you got to set an example in that meeting. You
Every
can't
time.
just have a meeting.
I mean, imagine you were watching that movie. And it's just, all right, guys, good meeting. Get to it.
Everybody's got their briefing. Everybody's got their water.
All right.
Let's meet.
If you look in your folders, you'll have the prospectus for the next fiscal year
Yeah.
here at Evil Incorporated.
Yeah,
I
right.
think we're doing good, guys. So keep up the good work.
Right. We have a good dental plan, and we enjoy having y'all all on the team. No, it doesn't go like that.
All right, guys, let's go out there and have some fun. Nah, it don't work.
So,
like that.
like in true movies like this fashion, they have a meeting, and somebody got to die, or some poor animal is
Yeah.
going to be killed.
somebody
or,
oversteps their bounds and gets put in their place.
yeah, or something like
Yeah.
that. So we got So we got like a even organization.
Yeah.
I thought I thought it made this movie a little fun though.
It did. I'll definitely say that. I think that's the thing about this movie is they had to find different ways to keep this one fun than in the Kingsman movies.
Right. So, and as we said, the Kingsman wasn't an organization yet. And so we got Ralph Fiennes' character that he's a pacifist. I guess he used to be a Red Cross, or maybe he was still working with the Red Cross, which is people that provide aid to people that's war, that has a when they hurt from war.
Yeah, they're basically a neutral party in all conflict.
Right,
They
a
just
neutral
provide
party
medical
that
care.
provides aid to the wounded and stuff in war. And and so after his wife died, he became a pacifist. He wasn't even doing that. He just didn't. Maybe he's a duke.
Yeah.
So I was like, what was he getting his money from? But I guess maybe because he was just royalty or something.
I mean, definitely like a lot of inherited wealth. Probably owned a
Right.
couple of businesses.
because I was wondering, because I don't recall him saying, "Oh, we have this business, we have that business."
Yeah.
Did I miss something? Did I?
Yeah, nah. They never like said
Said where
this
his
is-
wealth came from.
He just made a remark about this is how our family got rich.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So right, he is a duke, so he probably got generational wealth. But and that was the whole thing. So he got his son. I forget the guy. The guy. I know his name was Conrad.
Yeah.
But I don't know his real name.
I don't recall the actor's
But
name.
right. He was. I like the actor, but the character started to get on my nerve because the character was the same broken record.
Yeah.
I
Every time
want
he was
this.
on screen, I want to do this thing.
I wanted this. I want this. I want this. Like, shut up, boy.
Well, like even after he got something that I would say is a much better version of what he wants, that serves the same goal, gives him the same kind of action he wanted, he just wouldn't be doing it the way he had meant to. And he's like, all right, that was cool. So I want this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like, okay, no, right. We're gonna talk about that a little later. But yeah, those oh no. Then you got what's his name? Jamun Hudson. And I was seeing when we saw the trailer, you be like, oh man, I guess he's gonna be an agent of the Kingsmen or whatever. Nah, he Uncle Ben. Nah, he's and you know what, man?
Oh man.
You know what? It's just like it's disappointing.
He's doing what he does.
When I see characters
Yeah.
like this, man, I hate it because I'd be like, no, I don't want to see this. It's cliche. It's just one of those. And it's the thing. Ray Fiennes' character respected him. He didn't, never disrespect. It's just when they put these characters in this movie, I'm like, no, I don't want this character to be.
Because part of the problem is like the dynamic there is very much. No, I know what the world sees you as, and you know what the world sees you as, but we know better. But it's like,
Right.
But at the end of the day, that's still your position,
Right, I know. I know. Yeah, I respect you as an equal, but grab my bags. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, hey man, we're practically brothers. What's mine is yours. Now bring the car around.
Yeah.
I have a meeting at 2.
And then if they say, well, no blacks allowed, okay, well, just wait in the car. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's the same deal. And it's like, okay. But he was not a major character. His character,
He was a talented extra.
he was a talented extra. Or, yeah.
Because that's the thing. I mentioned after we saw the movie, that's kind of his thing. He's like the talented supporting character who doesn't actually like. And this used to be a common thing in all these spy thrillers, like, yes, this is so and so from this country that we conquered, and
If
I
you
saved his
watch-
life, so he owes me a debt or something.
If you watch James Bond, he's got a black character that he's in a couple movies, and he's supposed to be a friend of the MI6 agency in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So he's a black character. But if you watch that Dr. No, and I forget the other movie he was going, they brought him over from another movie, and they was like, oh boy, it's kind of dated.
Yeah.
They was like James Bond kind of treated him like a servant. Like fetch my slippers or whatever.
Like, or even was it Morgan Freeman in the Kevin Costner Robin Hood movie?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was like,
Which he was probably I was gonna say the most talented in that movie, but he was the one that probably had the most talent in fighting and all that. And I remember, well, we only want to talk about other movies,
right.
But those kind of characters
It's a
get on
common
my nerve.
trope. It's a common trope,
Right.
and this isn't this is far from the first time Djimon Hounsou has played this character.
Yeah, exactly.
they gave him different clothes, different makeup, and a different weapon.
Yeah.
but he's still the help.
So this organization, man, okay. So it was like, okay, he's trying to, the character Ralph Fiennes is trying to fight the war without actually fighting.
So his whole thing is like, he's, I guess, a handler of sorts. Like, okay, if this happens, this will happen, and then we'll have a war. So we need to make sure this doesn't happen.
He's trying to, and as you see in the trailer, he created he's starting to create an organization to do stuff without going through politics and channels. Excuse me, which is the creation of the Kingsman, and it's kind of cool how that starts.
Yeah.
So this movie. Some people say it's all over the place. I wouldn't say it's all over the place, but it is uneven.
Yeah.
Because you got the first act, which supposed to set things up, right? And second act is conflict. Third act is the resolution.
Yeah.
But it had that first act, and I was like, oh, it kind of set something up. But then it kind of had two first acts.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, this scene here, because it was a different movie.
Yeah.
In the middle of the movie.
It definitely. I can see how folks would come off of this and say it's a little scattered, like, because it does go back and forth on like, okay, here's the jump off point. Nah, this ain't the jump off point.
Yeah.
We're done with that. That's cool. But now here's the jump off point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was like, and you know what? Is his name Matthew Vaughn? Matthew Vaughn is I love his directing style.
Yeah.
I love all his movies. It's just the way they told this story. It wasn't cohesive. It didn't work enough because some parts was dry, and then all the stuff you see on the trailer, the way they shot that trailer right there, made it look so fun.
Yeah.
But I didn't have as much fun. I feel like I should have had more fun.
Yeah. There was a weird disconnect between like the fun that they wanted people to have in this movie and the pathos they were trying to engender from this movie. And so you come off of these scenes that are just like really like emotional into a comedic set piece.
Right. That was very uneven because they had some good comedic moments, then they had some very serious. So it's like they wanted to play this serious, but they had to bring in a lot of those comedic elements from those originals, which didn't go with the tone they started off with.
Yeah, I would have preferred if this had a drier tone to it.
Right, but at some points they did though.
That's
why it was uneven.
But it's like they would go from dry humor to wacky humor.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And it didn't go together.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, man, I really like this director though, so I don't want it just to be like, oh no, you're done. No, it's like, no, y'all just got to. I just think you need to work with a good writer and a good editor.
Because I'll say there's probably very few bad scenes in this movie.
Right.
I just don't think all of the scenes in this movie go together.
Exactly. The action was good though, man. I had a lot of fun watching some of those in the fight scenes with Rasputin.
Man,
and that character. Now it's a scene where
they could have given him his own movie.
Yeah, it's a scene where he had where he supposed to. Okay, so when you say he do like hypnotism or whatever, so it was something he was doing there, but it's a scene where I'm not sure what was going on here.
Yeah,
where he was like, and then so he kind of hypnotized him a little, but then he seems like he's in ecstasy or something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he put him into a hypnotic trance, and usually you get a bit of serenity out of that, or just absent-mindedness. I've never seen that go to. I mean, homie looked like he was having the time of his life.
Right, and I'm like, okay, but then he started asking him questions, and he was actually answering them.
Yeah,
because he was there as he was a spy, so of course he's not trying to tell him the truth, but it seems like he hypnotized him to tell him the truth or whatever.
Which I have no problem with, but like the way he was rolling his eyes in that scene,
the whole scene,
like I thought we had walked into an entirely different film.
Did he maybe slip him something?
I hope so. Like that, or maybe his hand was higher up than we thought.
Right. So now we get reference to that scene where he just started eating that cake or whatever. Was that to show him that? Okay, I don't want to reveal exactly, but was that to show him that this don't bother me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was wondering, like, why did he just shove that all in his mouth?
Because, like, if you notice, when he goes to eat it, like, he grabs a big hunk of it, and then he smells it, and then he makes direct eye contact before he's
to tell
eating
him.
Like he's Cookie Monster.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would think that what you would do is smell it and be like, I'm not hungry or whatever.
Well, like, he wanted to make that show. It's like, you think you can do this to me?
Yeah, right.
To me? Hold up. Let me show you what you playing with.
He was an interesting character, but he was not the main villain. They made it look like he was going to be the main villain.
And that's the problem, is too much of this movie is about him for him not to be the main villain.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Well, and it's just a thing. I think it wasn't even that long, but it felt long. Did it feel long to you?
It did. And because, like, as I was, like, after we left the movie, I was, like, trying to run it back in my head, trying to figure out just how much happened. And I'm like, a decent amount of stuff happened. Mm-hmm. The movie had a good pace, but I felt like I was in there for ages. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea on where that's coming from?
It's because they pacing.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't boring. The action scenes were good, but it's just the way where they decided to put them, and the way they paced the movie, it didn't work.
Yeah, because like even like the end of the second act could have been the start of the movie.
Yeah, I know that could have been the start, that could have been the start, and then that could have kicked off the rest. Well, what else was going to happen? but they didn't do that. But whatever.
Yeah.
That just threw me off a little. But yeah, it was. I had some fun with that. With that action, and like I said, they had a segment in the middle that's pretty much very similar to 1917.
Yeah.
Which is a World War One movie where they was continuous one shot, and they had a real cool scene in there. I almost forgot where they basically. It was like a knife fight in the middle of a battlefield.
Yeah. and especially because it's a silent scene. There's no music.
Right.
All you hear is the fight.
Right. It was a cool scene because I'm like, this is very clever.
Yeah.
Very clever
And
how
I
they
think
did that.
that's one of the most impressive shots in the film to me. Like, especially for it to not be like a special effects heavy shot.
Right.
It's just okay. We gotta do this thing.
But the idea for the sequence is great too because that's the first time I seen that where it's. Where it's guns, you can't help but shoot. No, they got a reason for the guns not to shoot and to have this
and it
knife
doesn't
fight
feel forced
in the middle of a battlefield.
like dead center of no man's land. It's like, well, can't make no noise, so we gotta get this done.
It was cool. It was cool. Cool sequence, man. So I was like, it's a lot of good stuff in here.
Yeah.
It's just that too bad they didn't really. It was jumbled up so much that it kind of took some of my enjoyment away. But I enjoyed enough of it, to not to say it wasn't good though,
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it is one of the most. It's probably about the most fun I've had with a flick that wasn't like really like just blown out of proportion on like effects and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Surprisingly wacky at times, but like I enjoyed that stuff too. Like there was nothing that made me cringe about it.
Right. So, okay, and I don't want to reveal nothing about that the last villain, but they had a fake out. Well, that wasn't a fake out. They had a villain that you didn't know his identity.
Yeah,
and then they had a surprise moment, like now I'm sure y'all can't wait to find out. So anytime you got a villain that you don't reveal their identity and you're gonna reveal it at the end. You gotta give me something that's gonna make me say,
But like also the fact that they're like either you have to make the audience feel the betrayal, or you have to showcase how much skill it would take to pull it off.
Right. But see, but make it so bad for me. I liked the villain. I liked the stuff. He felt kind of like he was vulgar, and it was kind of cool when he do stuff.
It was the moment of the reveal where it's like, oh, so all of that was just for
right. So when, they of course they had like a behind his just behind his head the whole time, wearing a mask and things you didn't know. So they setting up for when we find out we ain't gonna believe it. Right. And I was thinking, it's nobody in this movie that I would care that's the villain. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so I thought they was gonna reveal somebody that we knew from the other movies.
Yeah,
but I don't remember nobody memorable enough to make me say, "Oh, it was him."
Yeah, but nah. And so it's like when they finally do the reveal, I'm sitting there like, "Yeah, and
right." I know. I was like,
"Who cares?"
Oh, really? Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah. It was a letdown. You shoot yourself in the foot because.
I'd say there's probably only two people that could have been the main villain that would have actually made me say it was him, and neither of them, it wasn't them. So it's not worth talking about.
Right. So it wasn't somebody. I was like, is it gonna be like Winston Churchill or somebody?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be a real historical?
Make it somebody like that matters. So it's like you then had to start thinking. So the whole time so and so was doing this, he was the bad guy.
Yeah,
but they don't give you that.
Right. And that is a thin line. You write yourself in a corner when you do that.
Yeah.
Now you can win when you do that if it's somebody that's worth that maybe from other movies that we always wondered about or something.
Yeah.
Or if it's somebody in this movie that's always present but you never suspects. It was just somebody that we seen
like they were present in the film.
Right, we seen,
pretty
but we
much
kind
it.
of didn't really trip off of.
Yeah.
You know, so it's whatever. That was a letdown, but whatever. But they, you know, it was a good action set piece at the end. I had some fun with that, and I didn't hate this movie.
No.
Not at all. I just know it was a better movie in here.
Yeah,
You know,
that's always
that's
a
the
really
disappointing part.
you know, aspect of any film when you can tell that there's a better movie in the movie you're watching.
Yeah, and you was like, man, if they would have just done this a little different, or if they would have took this part and put that in the beginning, and they could have had that pacing going quicker,
Yeah.
you know, because it was a scene. It was like so, and this is the thing about the Kingsman being started. It was like okay, we already kind of doing something, but we don't have a official thing with it, and they kind of left that there and went somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to, and then at the very end is, okay, let's get back to what you came here for.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like,
like- 'Cause,
okay.
like, clearly you came here to see how the Kingsmen were found.
Yeah.
And this is how we started. Anyways, moving on from that.
Right,
And then towards the very end, it's like, we should get back to what we know works.
Right. And it's like, hey, so we know y'all came here to see everything, how everything got started, what y'all remember. So we're going to give you this in the last 2 minutes. We're going to show you this and show you that and then wrap this on up. All right, y'all?
Yeah.
It's like, no. That should have been earlier. You should have been doing at that moment when you had a moment of showing us what's behind the curtain. You said, this is behind the curtain. But forget that. Let's go over here. Why did you show me what's behind the curtain if you say if you don't want me to worry about that?
Also, and this is a personal pet peeve of mine, especially for origin stories that occur after you see like the actual premise that you're getting the origin story for. So like we already watched Kingsman, and now we're watching how that becomes a thing. And so much of the movie is about not becoming the Kingsman.
Yeah.
And I hate that. It's like
Right.
watching someone resist what is clearly their natural inclination to do a thing until circumstances finally force them to do the thing.
Right. I mean,
Like,
I really
understand the mechanism, but I just don't enjoy it.
that's part of the pacing problem. Like, because you had something going, and if you would have kept going this direction, you know, I would have been cool with that. But you just completely stopped going in the direction that we all thought that we came here for, to go in another direction. And then at the last minute, you was like, oh, let's go back down that way or whatever.
I guess we'll go do the thing we was
Yeah,
saying before. Yeah,
that's
man.
whack, man.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you were showing me some good stuff. I really liked that, but
I think that's the
out of
thing
place.
is this movie is great while you're watching it, I will say. It's not until after you start looking back on it, it's like, that was a weird place to put that scene.
Yeah. Yeah, so man, I had some good times watching this. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a rating. So yeah, I had some good times watching this, man, and the scenes were good. Don't let our critique of it discourage you from seeing it. I think it's worth seeing, especially if you're a fan of Kingsman. And the filmmaking was great. It just, you know, the way they told the story just didn't work, and that's a shame. But given the action, I would love to give this a dope, but I did not have a dope time watching it because of the pacing.
Yeah.
You know, so I give it an all right. I don't want to give it less than an all right because all those scenes and the way it's shot and the direction, it deserves credit for that. You know, so I'm gonna give it an all right. What'd you give?
Because I am riding that line between the all right and a dope. That pacing is definitely a big problem for me. I think I had just enough fun with this that I'm willing to give it a dope. Like,
Okay, all right.
It's a low dope. It's right, like I said, it's right on that
Right.
line. But I think I had just enough fun with it that I didn't notice the things I didn't enjoy about it until like I stopped and like processed it. So as far as it being a fun ride, I'm gonna give it a dope.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. I wanted to. It's just, you know, I feel like I know they could do better.
Yeah.
But still, though, it was good. So yeah, it was good, man. I heard they making the Kingsman the third one, That's a sequel to the second one,
Yeah.
The Golden Circle, which is like this was kind of grounded in reality. It wasn't nothing too out the ordinary, but if you watch the second one, they got robot dogs, and you be like, so we went from this to science fiction, you know?
At least like the first one was fantastical, but it was like still grounded in stuff that actually exists.
Right.
Now we got robot dogs, a chick feeding hamburgers to people, which I never need to see.
Made out of people.
Made out of people. Right. Excuse me, I forgot that bit. And so I don't know where they're gonna go from there.
Right. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Oh, I forgot. Drug-induced STDs as well.
right, huh? Oh,
Yeah, that was how she could tell who had had the tainted drugs.
okay, right. Oh, and I heard that they was considering that director to direct the Man of Steel, if the sequel. Considering it's not nothing. I'm down to see that with his direction and style.
I can be convinced for that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we ain't gonna do Zack Snyder. Then I don't give me somebody that's gonna put a lot of boring stuff. It
Yeah.
is a superhero movie.
Make it fun.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If you can make it fun, but still give me a good script too, I'm on board.
Yeah.
All right, so that is our review for The Kingsman. Go see it, man. It's worth seeing. Pretty sure it's not going to do great numbers because it's Christmas and everybody
Right.
going to see Spider-Man and The Matrix. So Kingsman going to get lost in that shuffle.
There was definitely a better week to release this.
I know. They we get that Christmas money. We get that Christmas. Nah,
You thought.
they should have waited to January.
Yeah.
They would have made a lot more money.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, that's The Kingsman. And, like I said, it's worth going to see.
Definitely.
So, all right, y'all, we're going to be out of here. Thanks for checking out the video. If y'all like our content, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you get alerts anytime we post new videos or if we live stream.
And if you like what you've seen here today, please hit that thumbs up down below. That lets us know that you liked what you saw here today. And drop a comment down below. Nah, just drop a comment. I ain't gonna ask y'all no questions. Have a happy Christmas, y'all.
Yeah, happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. In this country, we say Merry Christmas.
Sure, bud.
All right, we out here.
Peace, y'all.